It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hi guys, good afternoon, Piotr here. It's Wednesday, 30th of October 2019, almost 3 p.m. CET. And it's a very important day today. We are awaiting Bank of Canada. We've seen US ADP as well as GDP, and of course, the dinner in Europe. FOMC day a little bit later today. Before we start, as usual, risk warning, guys, please bear in mind trading effects on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all initial investment, so please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay, so almost ready with the Canadian. So what's the schedule? It's purely, eventually purely news trading. We are not going to fall in love with the position. Especially that after our meeting, we do have Bank of Canada press conference as well, right? So next 45 minutes, let's say maybe 1 hour, we are going to watch Canadian dollar reaction to the Bank of Canada decision, but 4:15 CET, there is a Bank of Canada press conference, and we already had few meetings where the initial reaction into the decision was completely different to what we've seen post Bank of Canada press conference. So guys, you shouldn't forget about it, all right? Please bear in mind this type of the price action with the Canadian dollar is very possible. But as I mentioned, it's not the only reason the Bank of Canada press conference is not the only reason I'm going to only have a trade the news approach for the Canadian dollar. Also, of course, the FOMC later today. That's probably gonna be the key driver, or it might be the key driver for the November, guys. Yeah, because we are approaching end of the month. It might be today, tomorrow. We might not see super duper reaction into that, but then beginning of the new month, especially that is also related to the non-farm payrolls. So pretty busy week. Of course, we are going to cover non-farm payrolls as well. But as you can see, hi MHB, how are you doing? As you can see under the charts, we are going to cover Fed rate decision later today as well. So you are more than welcome to join me 15 minutes ahead of the announcement, and same something around 45 minutes towards the Powell press conference, or maybe a little bit longer. All right. From the Canadian dollar perspective, I'm going to watch oil. I'm waiting with the limit order. I might, if filled, I'm going to see what kind of the price action we have. I may try to add around the high, but I'm not sure if we are going to get there, taking into the consideration the latest moves on the oil we've seen. I do think that, yeah, my order, if going to be filled, that's going to be okay. Anything higher, that could be tricky. So that's what I'm waiting for on oil, but it might be that I'm gonna to skip the trade in case of a very bullish EEA, right? So then I may eventually cancel that order. Then I'm going to watch cable Canadian. I'm going to watch Canadian yen. I'm going to watch Usdcad, especially Usdcad and especially Canadian yen, right? So with the Canadian dollar, we were trading yesterday. Once the stop been hit, once we recovered, living in a profit 4 pips as far as I remember. Overall, yesterday trading day was quite good, especially finally after our meeting pound, the remaining, hit the final target. That was great. So it was yeah, quite good day yesterday. Overall, end of the month is approaching, so cautious is needed here. I still believe that as long as we are above this this green zone, as long as we are above 130 psychological level, we might see attempt to rally on the US dollar here. At least we might see some kind of the rally back, maybe even towards 3150, right? 3150, that could be possible. Short time frame, I like what happened here. This manipulation over here. So maybe at some point we are going to see spike down, and I'm going to watch that level. I might be interested. CAD well, from the it looks like outside day, all right? It looks like outside day, no doubt about it. But the daily close wasn't that great. I would prefer to see the daily close much lower, right? Would be better. Retest of the high cannot be ruled out with, let's say, positive price action on the Canadian dollar, right? But in case of the move to the downside, still, in my opinion, the challenge is going to be here, right? 82.75. That's where we saw latest weakness to the downside, right? By the way, I'm almost ready to start also prepares not only recorded educational videos, but also very short live streams. Of course, they are gonna be in the archive section, inside the archive section, but almost ready with all those small details, some educational stuff related to the price action, to supply, demand, etc., etc., etc. So stay tuned, please. Anyway, so yeah, I would like to see a retest maybe of this high and rejection over there. That's, well, that wouldn't be bad. Anyway, the challenge is going to be around 82.75, 82.50 in case we are going to see that levels. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know how to approach because of the indices, but there is a chance we are going to create the island at the top, especially on the Nasdaq, on S&P. DJ is a little bit weaker, right? But we are going to get back to the indices tomorrow, or maybe during the Fed rate decision. Here, totally focused on the Canadian dollar because it's an event related to the Canadian dollar. So yeah, that's pure focus here on the Canadian. $44.90 buy order on EuroCAD. Let's have a look what we have this. Of course. Thank you that you are with me. 44.90. Well, nice. That's the zone over here. Especially this small consolidation, breakdown, move higher, so retest could. So you know what, guys, we are going to switch. I'm not gonna watch pound CAD. I'm going to watch EuroCAD. Looks nicer. We'll see. So we have like 3 minutes. Even 2 minutes, more or less. Don't forget, guys, that because of the YouTube rules, there is a 30 seconds delay, more or less. So please check on your side the outcome. Of course, we are going to see the reaction based on the price movement. So good luck, everyone. You know, I would go almost short CAD yen right here, right now. The only thing I don't like is current dollar yen price action, especially after the strong GDP. So that's, yeah, the dollar yen is my concern here with CAD yen. Anyway, good luck, guys. I will try to input the decision into the chat window as soon as I have it. Less than 1 minute, less than 60 seconds. Less than 20 seconds. Three, two, one, and there you go, guys. Canadian been trying few ticks to the downside, now stronger to the upside. So it's yeah, it's weakening the Canadian dollar a bit. No change, 175 as expected. And we are immediately testing the possible supply. Now be careful, guys. trying to chase that market. Be careful, guys, trying to chase that market. I didn't get what I've been looking for, meaning that I've been looking for a retest of the 3060. Now we are testing untested supply on the early to the peep, guys. Strong supply here, so be careful. Don't chase the market. Well, I've been talking about this CAD, but let's wait. Let's have a look what's going to happen. There's a still good chance they will retest 83.15, but as of now looks like one-way ticket. That's few comments from the Bank of Canada. Nice, MHB. Congratulations. And here, guys, you've got the full statement of the Bank of Canada. Of course, I'll go read that pretty quickly already. Of course, it's not the reason to try to chase the price right here, but also the move to the upside, the straight move to the upside. Of course, it's not the reason to try to fade that move, right? What I'm gonna to look for eventually is the break of that 18 and 17 high, right? And eventually some kind of the consolidation ahead of the continuation, right? Right here, right now, or if we are going to see some kind of the pullback, all right? So right now, the first possible demand right now is somewhere here, right where we started the move to the upside, right? So my waiting level on the CAD yen is around 83.15. So that's my waiting level. The current move on the indices to the downside is based on the information that Chile cancels the APEC summit in Santiago, meaning guys, that Trump and Xi will need to find another venue to sign the phase 1, right? So that's quite important. That's quite important, guys. That's why we saw this downside spike on the dollar yen as well. That's why we're testing on the CAD yen this 82.75 I've mentioned before. Okay, there is a breakout on the USD CAD. So very weak Canadian right now. So for sure stops were taken out on the USD CAD. So Euro CAD, I don't know where we're going. What I know that this is the possible demand here and then a little bit higher. That's gonna be probably mid of that range. So here we still got the chance to go a little bit higher if we are going to use the same measure as we did on the USD CAD, right? But USD CAD already broke through that. Well, this type of the things happening, and yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry for that, but well, we have to understand that the losses, that's the part of that game. Otherwise, yeah, we are going to have this type of the feelings when our stops is going to be hit. Unfortunately, that's how it works. I hate to have stop my position to being stop out. I hate that, but fortunately, finally, yeah, I got that. It's a part of that game. Stops are part of this game. The speed of this Canadian dollar move might be related to the end of the month, right? So if someone was waiting for the last moment fireworks before, I don't know, closing the position or whatever, reducing, so that could be the case right now. Always last 2-3 days are tricky, especially from a T+2 perspective, and then last day, right? When we are talking about the end of the month or end of the quarter. So let's have a look if you can somehow take the advantage of this last 20 pips on the Euro CAD. Looks like they targeting this zone over here. That would work that way. There is no pullback, right? There is no pullback. And for example, for me, after 33.83, after 50 pips spike, for me personally, I don't like to chase the prices, you know, guys. Those who are longer with us here, you do know that I'm not chasing the prices. I'm gonna wait patiently, and eventually I'm going to make the trade 1 or 2 days later. I'm not gonna chase the prices only because we are live and we have to make the trades, right? That's not me. Okay, we've got a little bit lower levels on the oil, so I don't know if this plan with this equal move is going to happen. So of course there was a spike to the downside on the risk because of the Chile news. Right now there is a recovery going on, business as usual on indices. So the gap on Nasdaq, for example, been closed. So one of the reasons they're trying to use that gap as a demand. Anyway, we are watching here the Canadian EuroCAD almost to the peep. So let's have a look what kind of the moves to the downside we've seen today. This one, so let's have a look if it's gonna work that way. That would be around 45.80. Then yeah, that could make sense to try to buy this type of the pullback eventually, right? Well, we'll see. So something close to 45.80, well, that would be something. I can live with that. Okay, let's wait and see the EEA data. It's within next 15 minutes. So I'm gonna leave the charts and go and grab a bottle of water. So be back in a sec. It's also very interesting from the next Tokyo session perspective, as we have plenty of data. Australian, Chinese, Bank of Japan we have, yeah. Europe is going to be interesting as well, and we do have the stream tomorrow, the one without the voices, where we are working on the chat only. So we are going to cover Europe and probably half of the US. We will see. It's going to be very interesting from the FOMC perspective, because this time Powell was lucky enough that he gets some numbers ahead of the press conference, because twice or three times he was mentioned that about the weaker growth or weaker inflation, and then next day or 2 days later, when we got the data, it was completely opposite to what he was saying or what he said. So Fed has everything in place. Probably they do know non-farm payrolls. It's Wednesday today, Friday. Yeah, probably. I don't know. They can always call President Trump, because usually if there is something, so President Trump is leaking one day before. Oops, I'm sorry. I forgot to mute my phone, sorry. If there are not gonna be recovery in Canadian dollar towards the end of the day, it might be very interesting from the trading perspective. Might be very interesting for tomorrow from the trading perspective. That was aggressive approach, MHB. Congratulations. I'm not gonna be surprised I'm not saying it's going to happen. What I'm saying is that I'm not gonna be surprised if we are going to see something like this in the near future. And then this 20-25 pips pullback MHB was looking for. So we visualized, of course it's a 1 minute chart, but gonna watch this. Unless we are not gonna to hold the gap we closed on the Nasdaq and we are going to get the risk off, then probably all those commodity currencies are gonna be weaker. Talking about the Canadian, Aussie and Kiwi. We've got 2 minutes, so let's have a look if there is anything from the oil perspective. For me, so this equal moves, we made the measure, we know what we are talking about, so I'm removing these lines. Okay, let's have a look if that's the stop hand only. There is also the comment from the EU Barnier. It is bearish. So for sure we are going to clear those stops. I don't know if anything else going to happen. So let's have a look what we have after the spike to the downside. This type of the correction. Same here. So maybe we are going to get the same here. What do you think, guys? And that would be this nice. Well, that would do. We'll try. So that's of course not helping to the Canadian dollar, and the Canadian almost hit the levels we were discussing. CAD yen hitting the 82.75 as discussed previously, and USD CAD broke through that one. So right here, right now, the pullback into that zone might be as a buying opportunity, and then again around 31. If 31.25 failure here, 31.30, 31.25, then it might open 30.90 again, and probably we are targeting the 32. There is this 31.75 as well here. The hourly. So with Canadian dollar, of course we are getting lower and lower on the Canadian yen. But still, I'm trying to take the advantage of the consolidation ahead of the Bank of Canada, and don't forget that we have within the next 45 minutes, 40 minutes, we have this Bank of Canada press conference, and of course we have FOMC later today, so plenty of possible action. So I'm waiting, I'm patient, I'm not gonna chase the market. That's what I've been talking for quite some time. So waiting around 83.15, 83.20 on the CAD-yen. Gonna look for pullback on the Usdcad ahead of the FOMC, but that's probably something we are going to get the chance to discuss during our next meeting later today, when we are going to cover FOMC. EuroCAD looks like because of the FOMC, probably I'm going to getting closer to the FOMC. I'm going to skip unless I'm going to get what we discussed this time. It might be that I'm gonna to look for three waves, right? So in that case, a little bit higher. So basically in that case, I'm going to look maybe for levels close to 46, 50, 60. Some stops to the upside around here. That could be the case as well. Especially that we have right now this breakout level here, and we are hitting that zone. So we will see. But more focus on Canada yen and more focus on dollar, American dollar versus Canadian dollar. Now, oil, I'm gonna to watch carefully. Again, if I'm going to see upper shadow and close below on the 5-minute chart, all right, I'm going to try to trade this 55.15, 55.10. Based on what we've seen ahead of the data, right? So looking for the similar, we had those lower shadows and the sizes. So 55.15, and my stop is gonna be above 55.32, right? So gonna be like 20 cents, and I'm going to target. And I'm going to target 54.30. All right. So I'm going to risk 20 to get something around 70-80. Okay. Didn't quite hit yet that are my entry. We'll see. Alright guys, so a little bit of the break. Prepare yourself for more fireworks this evening. You are more than welcome to join me 6:45 p.m. CET. I'm going to cover FOMC live. That's gonna be next 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour, depends on what we are going to get as an outcome, right? So we have the possible scenarios I'm going to look for. CAD-yen, Usdcad, as well as the oil. Guys, it was a pleasure. Let's recharge our batteries quickly and see you within the next 3 hours. See you within the next 3 hours, guys. Take care and goodbye.